is working. Hey.
Hello.
My job!
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I am so excited. I know. My lighting is way off. I can see you clearly, but over here it's kind of like, London. Yeah, sometimes we have light, other times it's gone.
Yeah. But it's okay. I can see you.
Uh-huh. All right.
How have you been?
I have been well. It's been a lot, but mostly thankful. Yeah, we never saw this coming, 2020, but you know what? Embrace uncertainty, they say. So I'm kind of like holding my own, Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's cool. Okay, it's 10 a.m. here, 6 p.m. your time. So I'll just introductions. Hi, guys. Welcome to Into Words with Sola live session 8. Oh, my God. And I am here with Joe Mordi. He is the founder of a non-profit organization, M.I.F Nigeria. And he's going to tell us about it in a bit. So before we go on, Joe, who are you? I know I said your name, but tell us, who are you and what do you do?
Joe is a regular boy, boy next door from out of town, Delta State, Nigeria, who happens to be heavily invested in all around, sustainable development, from health development, health advocacy rather, to human rights, social action, social justice, to climate justice as well. So it's a long list, not to brag. That's me in a nutshell.
Yeah, so you have your non-profit focuses on sustainable development goals.
Absolutely.
Where are you based now?
For me, I am based in London as a person, and so is my nonprofit. My nonprofit is based in Nigeria and the UK. So, yeah. So, we're very, yeah.
So, a quick fun question. If you were to have any dinner with any celebrity, who would you go with? Oh, it's internet. We'll just wait a while. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining our live. I'm on with Joe Mordi, but his internet is. Okay. Hello?
Yeah. I can hear you.
So did you hear my question?
What question was that?
Okay, so a fun question. If you were to go to dinner with any celebrity, who would you pick to go with?
It'd be my girl, Chimamanda Adichie. I call her girl, but she's a woman. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be Chimamanda, hands down.
Yeah, why would you go with Chimamanda?
Because she raised me. Hey.
Okay.
I'm her son unbeknownst to her. Yeah. From reading her books and, admiring her personality and, everything that she represents, everything that she exudes, aura, everything, excellence. That's my president right there.
That's a good choice. That's a good choice. So why did you start doing your non-profit?
Sorry?
Why did you start doing your non-profit? Like, why did you start it?
Because all of my life, or most of my younger, lives, I have, volunteered home and abroad. I volunteered a lot in America, volunteered a lot in Nigeria. I've always had this, flair, this thing about, giving back. So it was only right for me to start my nonprofit when I was, in my late teens. Yeah. So I just started. Why not? And I saw, not to, undermine the work of other, excellent, organizations doing what they do, but I thought we could, do it better. Because there was only so much I could do, I tell them, okay, this is what I think, my input, but they go on and then they do something else. I'm like, but we can do this better. So it was about time and, so far, so good.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
And what do you think you enjoy most about having a non-profit?
The joy of the impact, meeting people, especially young people who are the future, of, Nigeria or wherever. and then the passion in their eyes, and seeing, because we're all about everyone, project everyone is what it's called, the SDGs, leave no one behind, but we're very focused on the younger generation. So we go out for the most part fishing for young people because we're banking on them, so the joy in their eyes, the passion, all of that. When I see that, it's very reassuring, and it gives me that drive to keep going. You're impacting people, especially the young people, so why not?
Yeah. It's just that thing that goes that the young people are the leaders of tomorrow.
Absolutely,
and it's
they're leaders of today. Yeah. We've seen Greta Thunberg. She's not the only one. We've seen a lot of young people killing it, doing amazing things. And as a young person, we always tell them, just because you're young does not mean you're powerless. In fact, you're stronger. Young people, young power. You're stronger when you're young. People tend to listen to you, especially when you're talking about things that us adults we take for granted. Climate justice is a thing. Social action, we're lacking. How many young people have we seen, in Nigeria? When I mean young, I'm talking, people 15 and, under, like super young. How many people have we seen, doing amazing things, saying things that, matter, and advocating for things that we take off, for granted. And even, claiming or reclaiming space at the table of decision making. You don't want to leave that for a certain demographic, the old and tired. I mean, I love my older citizens, but let's call it what it is. Some people are, we have a certain, person in position, and we've seen not just one person, not just the president, but it's a long line of, people. They have nothing to offer. I'm sorry.
Again, that it's like the distribution of power and decision making. Like It's not just the older ones; they should be spread out to the younger people. And again, you're saying about like children feeling like they can't really contribite, because I think a lot of times they're just like, oh, you're in school, you need to like finish all this before you can now begin to try and say something.
Exactly.
It's actually possible for them to contribute even at their own age now, at this time. Irrespective of what they are, they can contribute.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's good. Honestly. Yeah. So how has the experience been fighting for the Sustainable Development Goals?
Mostly reassuring, but of course not without its own peculiar, challenges, especially in a certain geography, Nigeria. The apathetic, attitude towards, us founders or, non-profits, period. They have this thing, but I can understand from their perspective what it is. Most non-profits are a sham or con, but then again, and then they expect, handouts, they expect money, they expect what you mentioned, anything you have to offer, and that's about it. They don't care about, your time and what you have to, show and say. They don't care about that. So it's a lot, but mostly reassuring. Again, we do it for the young people. They're the ones, So that's it.
So you speak about your nonprofit is also in Nigeria as well as London. Is there any other country you've visited to like talk to people when it's time to make awareness for things like this?
Not really, except virtually. If you mean like virtually, then I've done a lot of things like this, but there's nothing like actually being physically there and spending, time. I have, a lot of to-dos, a lot of lists. I want to tour Africa, my Africa, and do a lot of, amazing things. I'm looking at Malawi. I'm looking at different African countries that I've never, been to. And that's the thing. That's another, perk of running a nonprofit. It allows you this, bridge. It ushers you into many different spaces that otherwise you wouldn't have, ever dreamt of, or, that grace of being here or there, or, it gives you that grace of going to somewhere and then not just going there and experiencing culture and people, but actually, impacting and, giving. This is what I brought. This is what I'm preaching. This is my message. And let's do this. Let's do this project together. Let's work on this together. So, yeah, it's a lot. It's the gift that won't stop giving, running the nonprofit.
Yeah, exactly. So what sort of things, like what sorts of activities, or like run me through a typical M.I.F Nigeria event at, let's say, a university or a secondary school in Nigeria or even in London?
Okay. First off, you write, of course, to the school and tell them this is what you want to do. They do their own background check, or at least we expect them to do their own background check on us, what these people, what are they all about. And then hopefully they allow you into, their school. You introduce all of that with your, projectors. You walk the students or the pupils, however the case may be. You tell them this is what it's all about, one-to-one. We don't want to bring all of them in one big space and then there are a lot of people behind that can't hear we take our time and walk them through what the sustainable development goals are. What are these things? Where did they come from? Why are they important? And all of that. So how can they take action? There's a lot of gaps we must fill, because it takes a while before people embrace a certain thing. It's all new at first. So we're looking at 1 week to 2 weeks in a.
Oh, it works again. Oh, internet. We'll just hold on.
Yeah, it could be picking up plastics and, recycling them. It could be anything. It could be, climate justice, or advocating for the rights of other young people as well. Young people that are supposed to be in school and they are out there, doing manual labor or being used as artisans. And then they advocate and write to the governor or the, commissioner for the youth or whatever. Yeah, all of those things, and then make them young activists, make them realize their voice, and then even more so when they come together, the thunderclap. It's when they come together and then write and sign petitions, it's louder. And then you can go a step further to book a radio maybe show for them, and then talk about what they learned, what we've done with them, and what they want to do, what they intend to do moving forward. So yeah.
Is there, you ever do any what's it called? Like any hands-on activities after you give talks, or do you make them act out a certain, situation or scenario, or do you give them case studies to try and figure out, if you were in this situation, what do you think you should do? Or do you make them go in groups to solve a particular problem? What's your...
We did create SDG groups within the schools, because most of the schools, they weren't comfortable for you or us coming every other. They only gave us a space, so we created groups for them. But it wasn't really followed as it should, which was one of the challenges. A lot of people, they're quite busy. They have a lot of... There's only so little time that they have between, being in class and then break period and then back in class. So it was really, really hard. We did try to, the social studies teachers, we did try to, plead with them. Can you please do this with them? They were like, okay, we'll see what we can do. But, so it was really hard. Yeah, and we've been to other groups, other nonprofits said the same thing as well. It's really not easy. But those nonprofits based in places like Lagos and Abuja, who are lucky enough to find a school that is really, in tandem with what they're trying to do, then yes, they're lucky. But other people not so lucky, or other nonprofits not so lucky. If you go to Nigeria, has schools, and then there are schools. There's always hierarchy for everything. You can go to a village school, and which is again most of our targets. You want to reach out to everyone, the rich school, the middle class, and then the really low schools or underdeveloped or inequipped. So we want to reach out to everyone, but yeah, it's really not easy. It's not easy.
Okay, let's park there for a bit. So what do you think will be how do you think it will be I mean, what decisions can you make, or what can we do to try and make teachers and people in authority in school realize that their responsibility as well as teaching students is also doing things like making them aware of things like this? Because if the students are going to be, they're being trained for their own teacher, they're trained for they're going to do, the exams they're going to take, then I think it's important that they also are trained for what is actually going on in our world. And many people don't realize that all these goals are centered around problems that human beings, we have caused by ourselves. Take, for instance, like climate change. Like, there's just so many things that we've done wrong for like centuries. And so what do you think your organization, or even like nonprofits that can come together as a larger group, can do to make schools and people in authority become aware? I know like that's like a question that is like you need to think hard about. So like, can you think of anything off the top of your head, or do you realize that there's a problem within schools when they don't see that they need to take responsibility?
Obviously, you've named, the problem. A sense of, urgency is missing. We don't preempt. We're not futuristic. We are not, a sense of urgency, period. If we can, again, come together or, as a group or as one, tell the younger generation and, call out people, activists, celebrities, everyone, this is what's going on. There's,